Right now at noon, the city of Joplin considers building permits to bring a Menards home improvement store.
And we are live at the Sacred Heart Catholic Church in Miami for KOAM's second annual First Responders Appreciation Lunch. We'll have more on this very special event and on potential rain chances and a big warm-up in the forecast coming up.
And former President Donald Trump is set to make his first court appearance over his alleged mishandling of classified documents.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
A national home improvement chain prepares to add another link, this one in Joplin. This is KOAM News at noon. I'm Tanya Bach. Topping our first 7 minutes, Menards moves a step closer to Joplin. The company filed 3 building permits, one for the main store, one for a storage building, and one for a gate located on the property. Now, the permits were submitted last month and are now awaiting approval from the city.
Each reviewing agency reviews their specific area. So the building, we're looking at structural plans, we're looking at the electrical drawings, we're looking at the plumbing, making sure it meets all of the minimum standards of the codes we've adopted here in town. Planning and zoning is doing the same thing. Our engineering department's doing the same thing. So each department, our fire department has plan reviews as well.
The permits list the building project at $8.5 million with the official address at 3317 South Geneva Avenue. For a convention center in town. The city administrator Carl Francis says last week a local businessman asked for an area to hold gatherings. But the Parks Department has had a need for an indoor recreation facility for quite some time. Francis says they're already looking at a spot that could be used for recreation and sports during the winter.
We're going to start looking for some funding options. We already have the land. We have land in King Jack Park that has been purchased for a long time. And we have a couple of initial drawings of what the facility would look like and how big it could be. But we really want to make sure that what we don't do is build a facility that's so small that it's not usable. So if we do this, I think the council's pretty much set that if we do it, we're going to do it right.
Francis says the city is now in the thinking phase and the council will decide if this is something they want to pursue. He says they want to hear citizens' thoughts about what could be done. Well, Service Solutions joins KOAM today to honor first responders, and we sent our own Chris Warner down to Miami, Oklahoma to check out the event.
Yeah, that's right, Tanya. We are down here at the Sacred Heart Catholic Church in Miami, just immediately north of the Walmart. And as you mentioned, our partner here this year for our second annual, this is Service Solutions. They helped us last year, helping us again. And with Service Solutions, joining us now is Toby Fry. Toby, thanks for joining us for the news at noon. It's a little bit toasty, a little bit sunny, not like it's too bad out here. So tell me a little bit about joining us for this partnership. What makes this so special for you all?
Well, Service Solutions, we're rooted here in Miami. I've been here for quite a while, and the ownership of Service Solutions, they're ex-law enforcement, and Terry and Tony are both involved, and we've got some military families that work with us, and it's a good thing for us to give back. We want to do that. They're important to our communities, and they don't get near the recognition they deserve, and so it's just a small thing that we can do, to give back to our local people. So.
And what's it like to be able to come out here and see these first responders and meet them, sometimes meet their families, and know that you're making a small but big difference in their day?
Well, it's always good, because these people are the same people that are customers of ours, they're friends of ours, sometimes family of ours. And so, small town America, it don't get any better. And so when you get it mingle with them and help them out, that's just good things to do. So we're definitely proud to partner with them and sponsor them in these things.
All right. And Toby, how long are y'all going to be out here today?
We'll be here till 1 o'clock. So any medical personnel, first responders, we just come out and eat a hot dog with us and chit chat a little.
All right, Toby, thank you so much for joining us, and thanks for partnering with us on this big venture here to help the first responders here in Ottawa County. So, as Toby mentioned, here until 1 o'clock, again, we're at the Sacred Heart Catholic Church. right next door to the Miami Walmart, so we're just immediately north of it on the same side. So it's pretty nice out here. It's a little warm for this outfit, but not too bad. So let's take a look at that forecast, shall we? We are looking right now at the MoDOT camera at 20th and Rangeline in Joplin. You can see we've got those sunny skies, just a few clouds out there. Yesterday started the day out at 58, so well below where we should be, made it up to 78. Also below where we should be, but I don't think anybody was complaining too much because it was nowhere near that 1953 record of 102. Temperatures out there right now still not too bad. We've got 73 Fort Scott, 75 Pittsburgh, 77 Joplin. We're 79 here in Miami and Oswego, 78 in Parsons, and 76 in Carthage. So here's a look at what we're keeping an eye on. Today, obviously partly cloudy and warmer. We also have those scattered thunderstorm chances from tomorrow and even late tonight through at least Monday. We'll talk about that. And the temperatures are really going to warm up. The first official day of summer is not until Wednesday next week. But when we show you that 7-day forecast, you're going to think that something got mixed up somewhere. We'll have more on your full forecast, and we'll have an interview with a first responder right here in Miami when we come back in a few more minutes. Tanya?
All right. Thank you so much. Thanks, Chris. Former President Donald Trump will make his first court appearance today in the classified documents case. This is his second arraignment in 3 months. Trump says he's innocent and is expected to plead not guilty to 37 felony counts ranging from keeping national security documents, conspiracy to obstructing justice, and lying about it. Later, Trump heads to his golf club in Bedminster, New Jersey, where he will give remarks and hold a fundraiser. In the war in Ukraine, Russia launched more missiles and drones overnight, killing at least 10 people and injuring dozens more in one Ukrainian city. Ukraine says Russia is trying to take attention away from its recent losses on the front lines. The latest attack comes as Ukraine's counteroffensive slowly pushes forward. Ukrainian troops are fiercely fighting for every mile, forcing the Russians back. So far, officials say they've recaptured at least 7 settlements, but it comes at a price. Russia has destroyed Western supplied equipment, including German tanks and American armored fighting vehicles. That's a look at today's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes. Up next on KOAM News at Noon, decades after the Holocaust, a German museum director is on a mission to return stolen silver to Jewish families in the U.S. and around the globe. And later, we're making south of the border chicken salad in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen. Nearly 8 decades after the Holocaust, Jewish families here in the U.S. and around the world are being reunited with silver heirlooms stolen by the Nazis. CBS's Tina Kraus has the story of a German man who's determined to see the treasures returned.
The white gloves show just how precious these pieces are. All of this silver was stolen from Jews by the Nazis in 1939.
Might be the spoon your grandmother ate with or took their soup with for Shabbat.
German museum director Matthias Wienerger has made it his mission to return the items to relatives of the original owners.
It's really important to try to find the families and, in my view, and give back the objects.
As part of the Jewish persecution, Nazis took thousands of silver pieces, ordering Jews to hand them over to pawn shops across Germany.
These labels are still from the pawn shop, and the objects have marks.
Those labels matched up to historic documents, naming those forced to surrender their silver. With the help of social media, Wienerger has found some of their family members. Orna Levy-Flint is one of them. She's seeing her family heirloom for the first time.
This candlestick belonged to a member of my family. She appears here in the family tree.
Wienerger hopes to reunite more families in the coming months, with plans to deliver silver keepsakes to relatives in New York, San Francisco, and Israel. Tina Kraus, CBS News.
Now, much of the stolen silver was melted down decades ago to help fund the German war effort, but some of it ended up in museums around Germany. Still to come on the KOAM News at Noon, Mr. Food.
Today, we're making a fill-you-up main dish that's so good, you won't have to turn your oven on all summer long. So stick around and I'll show you what I mean.
And we are live here in Miami, Oklahoma for our first responders lunch, our appreciation lunch. We're going to have more from this appreciation lunch and more on that forecast when the KOAM News at Noon returns. Welcome back to the KOAM News at Noon. We're live here in beautiful Miami, Oklahoma at the Sacred Heart Catholic Church for our second annual First Responders Appreciation Lunch, sponsored by Service Solutions here in Miami. So we spoke with Service Solutions earlier, and now one of the folks that this is all about, we've got Austin Hopkins with the Quapaw Nation Fire Department joining us. Austin, thanks for taking time for us. So obviously, this whole lunch is for you folks, you first responders. What is it like to be able to know that you're appreciated beyond what you get in the community on a regular basis?
Yeah, so I don't think anybody that's really doing this job has got into it for the appreciation factor. So the fact that we have a group that is doing it is a really nice gesture.
And what's it like for you to be able to get out there and serve your community on a daily basis and know that no matter what the call is, you're making a significant difference in someone's life?
Well, I mean, yeah, that's the ultimate goal. You know, at least we hope we're making a difference. But it's a good feeling, you know, be able to do something beyond just 9 to 5, make your money and go home. Like, we all enjoy helping people.
All right, Austin, thank you so much for coming out with us this afternoon. Let you get back and enjoy some of this good food cooked up by our very own Vance Lewis. He's standing over there. He's giving the thumbs up. And we have got ourselves, it's actually not bad. I'm not dressed for the weather, but it's not bad out here. So let's take a look, though, at what's going to happen down the road. We talked about how it's going to get hotter. We talked about how it's also going to rain. So let's take a look at the future track. We go into this evening. We've got our temperatures a little warmer than where they were yesterday as we go into the lower 80s. Then we head into tonight. And we're looking at one possible round of some showers and thunderstorms very early tomorrow morning. You can see on the future track, this is about 2 a.m. Now, this will sweep through. Here we are at 4 a.m. We talked about this during the morning show. We're not anticipating any severe weather with this activity. Maybe a strong storm or two, but even that chance is relatively low. Then we'll head through the majority of our Wednesday and stay high and dry, and then we transition into that pop-up storm territory. And then we're looking at maybe even a few organized thunderstorms by tomorrow afternoon, say around 4 or 5 o'clock. Take a look at this. This is a nice batch of storms by about 6:30 tomorrow evening rolling through the area. We know we need this rain, so any kind of rain we can get, we will take, and that's just the first of several days of pop-up thunderstorms. Let's take a look. MoDOT camera, 20th and Range Line in Joplin. Traffic's moving. That's always a good sign. Plentiful sunshine out there. And you can see a little bit of shade right over the KOAM TV parking lot, but sun out in the distance. And, well, that's because we have partly cloudy skies, and that's what happens. And the KDOT camera, 69 and East 520th Avenue, just south of Pittsburgh, also showing that sunshine. Here's a view from our vantage point at 7th and Range Line. You can see some partly cloudy skies. Not bad, 77, only feels like 58 because dew point humidity, both not where they have been here the last few days. West breeze at 7. Over in Pittsburgh, sitting with those partly cloudy skies as well, 76. And again, a lower dew point and humidity than what we've seen here lately. Temperatures around the rest of the region, they look like this. 79 down here in Miami as well as Chatopa. 78 in Neodesha, Chanute, Parsons. 76 Carthage. 74 Nevada and Lamar. And 73 up in Fort Scott. Now as we head to this afternoon, we're getting ready to top out at what we're expecting our afternoon highs for most of us to be right there into the lower 80s under these partly cloudy skies. We head into this evening. We're going to stay partly cloudy. Back into the lower 60s. Then we see those thunderstorm chances as we head into the overnight hours. And then we go into tomorrow, partly, mostly cloudy skies. And we'll start to see those pop-up thunderstorms as we head into the evening hours. And we'll continue to trend warmer. Here's what I'm talking about. We have Father's Day on Sunday. But you look at that temperature, you might think it's supposed to be the first day of summer because as we head into the weekend, temperatures continue to climb, low to mid-90s, maybe even some upper 90s out there. And as we head toward the first day of summer, at least right now, it's looking to be a little cooler than Father's Day. But we have those pop-up storm chances tomorrow through Monday, and then they'll return again by the middle of next week. Otherwise, if you have Father's Day plans, we do have the thunderstorm chances, but honestly, the bigger thing is if you're outside, just make sure you're planning appropriately because 96 degrees or even slightly higher is going to be pretty darn toasty out there. Tanya?
And if you're in the mood for grilling, today's the day to do it. What is Vance making for the first responders behind you there, Chris?
Well, he's been making, I believe, hot dogs. Vance, is it mostly hot dogs? Hot dogs.
Hot dogs?
Hot dogs? Vance says hot dogs. Vance says hot dog. That's what I thought. Well, you're only cooking the hot dogs. You're not cooking chips, right? He's not cooking chips, but there's chips, beans, cookies, all sorts of extras, but he's making hot dogs out here.
All right, sounds tasty. All right, well, lunch goes until 1 o'clock, so if you haven't made it out there, get there now. Well, speaking of lunch, stick around. We're making a south of the border chicken salad after the break. Looking for a twist on your typical dinner salad? Today, Howard shows us how to make a south of the border barbecue chicken salad in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
When it comes to getting dinner on the table night after night, it can get pretty challenging. So I want to share a recipe that'll help you out when you just don't know what to make. As the weather gets warmer, we start craving dishes that are lighter, but we still want ones that'll satisfy our family. The recipe that we're whipping up today is one of my personal favorites. We start by adding some diced tomatoes to a head of chopped romaine, along with a good amount of corn, black beans that we've drained and rinsed, a bit of diced red onion, and a handful of shredded cheddar. We set that aside for a sec and toss a good amount of cooked chicken that we've cut up into cubes with some barbecue sauce. We put the chicken on and drizzle on some ranch dressing. You can serve this as is, but I like to pop it in the fridge for a few minutes before serving it. A few tortilla strips go on top, and it's time to ring the dinner bell. The sweet and tangy barbecue sauce, along with the cool ranch, makes this a perfect combo. To get the recipe for our south of the border chicken salad, all you have to do is visit our website. I'm Howard in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found a tasty change of pace kind of way for you to say, ooh, it's so good.
Looks yummy. Here's a look at our 4 state market prices.
All right, so we are live in Miami for our second annual First Responders Appreciation Lunch, brought to you in part by Service Solutions here in Miami. We're at Sacred Heart Catholic Church here until 1 o'clock. It's not going to be too hot today, warmer than yesterday. We're heading in the low 80s. As you can see, we got some thunderstorm chances overnight tonight, and then pop-up storms now through Monday. And by the time we reach Father's Day, it is going to feel like the first day of summer as temperatures push in the mid, maybe even upper 90s by this weekend.
All right, thanks, Chris. I guess if you haven't made it out there, they're open until 1 o'clock today.
Very good.
What do we have coming up tonight at 5?
Well, at 5, a common weight loss surgery to address childhood obesity might have a troubling downside. And Health Watch, why a sleeve gastrectomy could have harmful effects on children's bones. Plus, meet a woman with a mission who exceeded previous fundraising years and raised more than $100,000 for local Mercy hospitals. And Walmart announces plans to build a $257 million beef processing facility in Kansas. Hope you'll join us for those stories. A lot more, of course. It's all coming up today on KOAM News at 5.
All right, thank you, Dal. Thanks for joining us for KOAM News at Noon, and a special thank you to all the first responders out there. We'll see you right back here at 5 o'clock.